Charlie Evans Ofotsu Mansu. Good morning.
Good morning, Ben.
Very busy week for you. Your coverage of the Achu funeral was quite stellar, and I know you're from the area, so it must have been a bit more touching for you. But summarize for me the feeling whether Achu got the right send off before we come to Chris Hughton. Did you think, based on Friday's activities, Ghana did justice to Christian Achu?
Well, Ben, I can say that the sort of reception at the forecourt of the State House sums up how huge Ghanaians love the player. It was a very, very well attended funeral because if you are Christian Achu's family, and I'm sure never in their wildest dream did they expect to see the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, the former president John Dramani Mahama, the vice president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Black Stars players, well-wishers, sympathizers, all at one place at the same time for their beloved son. So it went beyond their wildest imagination, and I can say that sort of crowd that came to the forecourt of the State House to pay their last respect to the player sums up everything about how Ghanaians feel about him. For me, I think that it was a very befitting funeral, a state-assisted one. It was well-controlled. Security was on point. And looking at how everyone I spoke to at the event spoke highly of the player, you could clearly see that this is one of the biggest ways to send off a national icon. Yes, there were some hitches in terms of some of the media personalities and how they went about some of their questions and all that. But in all, I just felt that Ghana gave Achu a befitting farewell.
So we are unveiling Chris Hughton today, and we have a big game on Thursday. Well, I don't know whether the Achu situation will motivate our boys or whether they are still mourning. I don't know what's your feeling in terms of first the players and the fact that their colleague fell, he's dead. What kind of mood were they in, and is there a way in which that could galvanize them to want to win something? You know, we've been looking for this AFCON for I don't know how many years, 40 years. Could they say, look, let's do it for Achu this time round? Could that be the rallying cry, you think?
Absolutely. Then if there's one game that the Black Stars must win for the nation, it's this one against Angola on Thursday. It's just not about the AFCON qualifier, though, but it's also a game which could be played in the honor of Christian Achu because, yes, on the pitch, he was quite a good player for them. Off the pitch, also, his humanitarian works transcends across the borders. And so this is the first game that the Black Stars are playing right after that incident happening to Achu in Turkey. So it's a very motivating task for them to try and win this game and then try to also dedicate this win for the late Christian Achu. So yes, they are sad looking at how Achu passed on, but they have a huge chance to try and make amends on the pitch to try and honor the player as he would have done himself on the pitch. And if there's a way to show that they love Christian Achu, this is the moment for them to try and beat Angola convincingly. They are professionals. I know, yes, they are hurt by the fact that they've lost their brother, but on the pitch is where they do their talking. So many out there, myself, expecting them to turn out to give us 150% performance, to go all out and win this game convincingly, play well for Ghana, and make sure that they dedicate this important win for the late Christian Achu. So for me, I feel that this is the moment for them to try and do this for their late brother.
Let's talk about Chris Hughton. Is there any novelty around this? The guy came in, I think, a few months before the World Cup, and some people thought he was going to be the coach, and then they made him technical director, and now he's the coach. So I have this feeling it's not really that fresh. Do you get me? I don't know what you think from the spot. It seems as if we've already seen the thing before they are coming to unveil him. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, Ben, when Chris Hughton arrived in March 2022, many thought that he was going to be the next Black Stars coach after Milovan Rajevac. But the GFA had other plans, and they gave the job to Otto Addo, which made Chris Hughton take the role as the technical advisor. And I think together they formed a very good team, and they delivered on their mandate to qualify the country by beating Nigeria in that qualifiers in March. Now, Chris Hughton has been around the team. He was reaffirmed as the technical director in May. He was with the team for the World Cup in Qatar. So he's a man who has been around the team, I can say, for almost a year now. So he knows the ins and outs of the team. Yes, this was a job many thought would have been given to him earlier. But looking at the exploit of Otuado, when no one expected him to go past Nigeria, he did so. So it was just fair for Otuado to just continue what he had started already. And now that Otuado has gracefully retired or resigned, I should say, from the Black Stars after the World Cup in Qatar, it was just prudent that the baton passes on to Chris Hughton, who the GFA believes that is a good continuity of what has happened from the World Cup. And he's getting the same backroom staff as Otuado. So he will be assisted by Masoud Didi Ramani and also George Boateng, who were the same assistant coaches for Otuado. Now, one key role that we're missing from his technical team is the technical advisor position, which he was for Otuado. He will not have any technical advisor because he has just moved from that role into the head coach role to take over from Otuado. So he knows the team in and out. He has the experience in terms of what he's done in his coaching career. 30, I think 20 or 29 or 30 years coaching experience from when he started from the youth system of Tottenham Hotspur. So his last job at Brighton and at Nottingham Forest before he was appointed as the Black Stars head coach. So he has a massive experience in the in UK football, having coached in the Premier League and also the Championship. His major concern now will be taking over the Black Stars as the main man. This is his first national team job on the African continent.
Okay.
So he's not been the face of a team when it comes to African football yet. He may have been behind the scenes and given advice to Otuado, but now he takes over as the main man, and this is his first official job, coaching an African team. And that's where many would like to see how he fares against Angola in his first game. How he starts his tenure is very important for Ghanaians because against Angola, he will be judged based on that performance. Many feel that a good start will indicate that yes, he has really learned on the job after 1 year being the advisor for Otuado. So it's important that he starts very well against Angola on Thursday at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. That's very key for him. Today, he's been unveiled to the media. At the moment, the local media are arriving. It's a very serene place, the Seninshia Golden Mall, SG Mall at Ayija in Kumasi, very lovely edifice there. I see some of the local media arriving. It's a very quiet place.
I'm sure you've been monitoring Kumasi media this morning, and I'm sure Black Stars Chris Hughton is a big topic of discussion, particularly on radio.
Absolutely. All they did here this morning is talk about Chris Hughton and what he's coming on board with in terms of his coaching credentials and what they're expecting from him as well. At the moment, we are all trooping into here to try and ask him questions as well. When the event starts at 10 a.m., we understand. Now, for the Kumasi media, one key thing that they want Chris Hughton to try and do is to build a formidable team, to be a man of his words, to be the man in charge of the Black Stars. There's one thing that has bedeviled the Black Stars technical team all these years. That's interference from the GFA hierarchy, and they saw that they want Coach Chris Hughton to be solid in terms of his call-ups, in terms of his decisions and his tactical abilities. They don't want him to be manipulated as they felt other coaches of the Black Stars were in previous times. So that has been the key discussions here in Kumasi, and the media are just some minutes away from facing the coach for the first time since he was appointed on the 12th of February 2023 to ask him questions. They would love to hear his vision for the Black Stars, what he hopes to leave at the end of his tenure, the legacy, what he has in terms of the latest 25-man score that he called for the game against Angola, what went into that call-up, also his tactical prowess, what is being on board, his transitional plan, how will the players from the Black Meteors, the Black Satellites get a call-up into the main Black Stars under his tenure. And also, it's a massive question that they have for him in terms of what he has on board. And also for the GFA, they are hoping to also get details of the contract. Who is going to pay Chris Hughton? How much is he being paid every month? All these are key questions that we hope to be answered here at the SG Mall in Kumasi.
Thank you, Ofotsu Mansu, a.k.a. Pichichi.